Good afternoon. We want to get you caught up on the very latest on those deadly shootings in Herkimer County this morning. 6 people shot, 4 killed, the other 2 injured as of right now. Here's where it all started. The communities of both Herkimer and Mohawk were rattled this morning after these multiple incidents. It started with a call of a structure fire in Mohawk on South Washington Street just after 9 o'clock this morning. Then minutes later there was reports of a shooting in Herkimer at Gaffey's Car Wash on Mohawk Street. Then after that, our crews arrived on the scene in both locations to discover there had also been a fatal shooting at John's Barber Shop, which is on Main Street in Mohawk. Now, just a little while ago, we learned that authorities had identified a suspect in this case. That man's name is Kurt Myers. He is believed to be between the ages of 50 to 65 years old. He has white hair and a white beard. It was reported by Jason Powlis earlier in the broadcast, who spoke with some neighbors, that Myers lived inside the building on South Washington Street that had been set on fire this morning, and authorities do believe that Myers was the one who intentionally set that fire before making his way to John's Barber Shop and shooting 4 people, killing 2, and then making his way to Gaffey's Car Wash in Herkimer and shooting and killing 2 other people. Jolene Ferris is live on North Main Street in the village of Herkimer, where state police have been addressing the media to give us the latest. Jolene, any sign of Mr. Myers in Herkimer at this time?
Slight change here, Dave. We did see a couple of the police officers leave. We're not sure if that has anything to do with, we're hearing now that the governor is coming here for a press conference about this incident. We don't know if perhaps they left to check another location for Kurt Myers, but there is still a very heavy police presence here. Not sure if you could see behind me. Again, very many state police Suburbans. There is still a helicopter hovering very low overhead, and again, still about half a dozen or so state police vehicles on North Main, as well as an ambulance that's been on standby probably about an hour, a little more than an hour, that this scene has been happening here. So again, there is still a police presence here, but it seems to be ever so slightly less tense than it was maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. Still a lot of state police Suburbans, but again, we have heard that the governor is coming here for a press conference. We did see some police officers leave, but again, we don't know if that has anything to do with the governor's detail or if perhaps they could be checking another location. So the state police are having a press conference allegedly with the governor very shortly, so we should have more information then.
Jolene, I know that the public information officer for state police arrived on the scene when we last spoke to you. Were they forthcoming with any new information at this time, including anything regarding Kurt Myers, their suspect?
Nothing at all. In fact, all he did was basically come over and give a quick shout out to the media that there would be a press conference shortly at the East Herkimer State Police Barracks with the governor in attendance. That was it, and it has just been a scene today on the cell phones, texting and calling nonstop. I mean, up until I went on the air with you 30 seconds ago, calling and texting them. Anything new? Do they have them in custody? And we have not heard anything back yet. But again, understandably, they've had their hands full with a dangerous armed suspect on the loose, but they do plan on releasing more information shortly.
How long, by your estimation, Jolene, have authorities been on the scene there on North Main Street after these other 2 incidents earlier this morning?
Here, I'd say probably a little more than an hour ago that we initially saw that large caravan of around a dozen state police vehicles, ambulances, and emergency vehicles heading through Herkimer, heading here. And here's Jack Keller again, about 10 feet to my left. Not sure if he's going to be releasing information now. He appears to be pointing us to the press conference.
Are businesses in that area, for those who are nearby, closed in light of what's going on, Jolene? We know many schools are on lockdown currently.
We did speak with the superintendent of Herkimer Central Schools, who said that they weren't letting students go out for lunch, which they normally do, and that they were keeping the BOCES morning students, and they basically were on lockdown with a single point of entry through the front door.
Jolene, I want to ask you, we're wondering if you can move over to that press conference, if it's within your range for us to stay with you on the air as they begin this press conference. Is it within enough feet for you to move over to so we can take this live?
I think it's going to be at the State Police Barracks, the press conference.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I know you mentioned that Trooper Keller was standing nearby. Is there any chance to bring him on camera?
Nope, he is already long gone.
He has already left. All right. Well, thank you, Jolene. We appreciate that. And as you said, many schools on lockdown in the area. You can check our website, WKTV.com, and of course the WKTV Facebook page. As more of those come in, we will let you know. But we want to recap. We know some of you have been watching the entire time and may know this already, but for those just tuning in, we want to bring you up to speed on exactly what's gone on. There was originally a report of a fire on South Washington Street in the village of Mohawk. That was intentionally set, we've now learned. Everyone did escape that fire safely, but authorities do say that the man, a man who lived there, Kurt Myers, had intentionally set that fire and then moved on to 2 shootings, one in Mohawk and one in Herkimer. I'm going to send things now live to Jason Powlis. Jason was on the scene and originally responded when that fire call came in on South Washington Street. Jason, what's the atmosphere like down there in the village of Mohawk right now?
One of disbelief, stunned. People are walking around just not quite understanding how something like this could happen in their small town. We were on our way to that fire when we didn't even get there because we made it to Main Street, where the police tape was already up and there were ambulances on the scene. 4 people were shot at John's barbershop. The owner, John Seymour, one of them shot, was taken to an area hospital. No word on his condition. One other person was shot, taken to an area hospital. Two others were killed on the scene. Then apparently, according to police officials, Chief Joe Malone, who just had a press conference maybe about 20 minutes ago here with us, told us that Kurt Myers was the suspect in these shootings. He is still on the loose, considered armed and dangerous, and Joe Malone did tell us that if you see this individual, to call 911 immediately. Stay in your houses if you live in Mohawk and Herkimer, as police and officials are trying to find this individual. He's considered armed and dangerous, and that is all Joe Malone would say. He would not elaborate on anything else, the mindset of Kurt Myers, anything else other than the fact that he is the suspect in these 6 shootings. Again, 4 dead, 2 taken to area hospitals. That is what we have confirmed. We have nothing else confirmed at this time.
Now, Jason, I know that Mohawk schools, along with many other schools throughout the area, are on lockdown as they search for, as authorities search for Mr. Myers.
Yes.
And I asked Jolene this, but I want to ask you as well. For a small village, that really is the main stretch of Mohawk. Has it been completely shut down? Are businesses closed? What are things like down there in terms of the day-to-day
this block,
business?
The block of Main Street where the shooting took place has been cordoned off at the fast track here at North Otsego Street down to South Washington. And then if you go down South Washington is also closed from Main Street down all the way down to Route 28, where it meets at the point at the police station. And the fire was right behind the police station. That's how close this was. It looks like the fast track is still open. Some other businesses seem to still be open here. But we have heard that the Herkimer County office building is also on lockdown. Several other businesses in the area down in Herkimer are on lockdown, or I don't want to say closed, but they're obviously not getting a lot of foot traffic right now if police are cordoning off the area. And police are keeping this block pretty much, stay off of it. Don't come down and try and find out what's going on. Stay home, watch us on television, listen to the radio, go to WKTV.com to find out your information. Police don't need any extra help. They are doing just fine. And they're urging those that are in the areas that were affected to stay inside, keep your doors locked. If you see anything, please call 911.
Jason, before we let you go, I just want to ask, I know you spoke with neighbors of Mr. Myers. State police aren't saying anything at the time. Did they give you any information as to what type of personality Mr. Myers is to deal with?
Mostly onlookers, no neighbors per se, but
okay.
a lot of folks that I talked to that were here at the scene across from the barbershop. If anybody knows the barbershop here, John's barbershop, it's a hangout. You come down here, you hang out, you talk, you spend hours at a time sometimes just sitting around shooting the bull. And so, a nice little place in town. A lot of people went there. That's why this is so shocking. It's hard to understand why something like this happened.
Okay.
So everybody that was out on the streets pretty much said, this is unbelievable, something like this.
All right.
Some people may have recognized the suspect, but nobody really has come out and said, yeah, I know Kurt Myers. Myers. So
Okay.
that's where we stand.
Well, thank you very much. Jason Paulus reporting live via phone from Mohawk. We want to mention multiple schools are on lockdown, as are many businesses. You can check our website, WKTV.com, as those calls come in. We're going to continue posting them there and on our social media platforms as well. We also want to mention, Jolene said just a little while ago, State Police had announced that Governor Andrew Cuomo is expected to arrive in the Valley this afternoon for a press conference at State Police Troop D headquarters. And of course, we will be there as that happens as well. And we'll be back right after the break.